Now, there was one moment during the debate that marked a fresh low for Parliament. Narayana is one of the BJP's senior-most leaders. He's a former Chief Minister of Maharashtra and he's a Rajya Sabha MP. He's known for his firebrand nature. But today, during discussions in the upper house, Narayana crossed a red line. In response to demands of a PM statement over the Manipur crisis, the BJP MP warned his political rivals, "You don't have the auqad to question the Prime Minister." These are his exact words. Listening to him, even the chair was shocked.
ये नहीं, अरे बैठ पीछे बैठ।
व्यक्तिगत मंत्री जी, माननीय मंत्री जी,
हमारे पंतप्रधान जी के ऊपर बोलने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है, औकात नहीं उनकी। पंतप्रधान जी के ऊपर बोलने की उंगली भी बताया ना।
थैंक यू।
तो तुम्हारी औकात में निकालूंगा क्या असलियत में निकालूंगा।
This is the House of Elders, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, shifting focus back on Rahul Gandhi, seems like the Congress party is saving Rahul Gandhi for the last shot, the final shot, which is the 10th of August. Most probably, we are told he'll be speaking on the same day as the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is scheduled to reply to the House on August 10th. It's possibly why Smriti Irani, who was supposed to speak on the floor of the House today, hasn't spoken, probably will be speaking on August 10th itself, or maybe tomorrow. Let's wait and watch. Meanwhile, the newly reinstated MP has been reallocated his government bungalow at 12 Tughlaq Lane near India Gate. After getting his bungalow back, Rahul said the entire country is his home. Listen in.
मेरा घर पूरा हिंदुस्तान है। मेरा घर पूरा हिंदुस्तान है।
My guest this evening for a very quick chat, Sanjay Jha, is an author. He's a political observer. Varun Singh. I beg your pardon, Varun. Hi, how are you? I just called you Varun Gandhi, political analyst. Good evening. Too much Gandhi is happening on this show. Sanjay, hi. Let me start with you. Sanjay, most of us will agree that a no confidence motion or a no trust vote is the most potent weapon of our parliamentary democracy. You know, to bring out the no trust vote against this government when everyone knows they have the numbers, is it a bit like bringing out the Bofors to kill a fly? Many people will say, "Zarurat kya hai?" What is the point that the opposition is trying to prove here?
Shreya, a very valid question. I believe it is a moment of shame for Narendra Modi as India's Prime Minister and for the BJP and the NDA government that the opposition had to take resort to a legislative strategy where they know they're going to lose simply because they want to make sure that India's Prime Minister, who has maintained a deafening silence, to use the cliche, on Manipur, to get him to speak to the people of India, to get him to speak, to actually prove to the people that he's the Prime Minister of India, not a Prime Minister of the BJP. I mean, I can tell you, in no democracy in the world is there any leader, if he has been Prime Minister or President for 9 years, he or she has not given a single press conference. Shreya, you are a very seasoned journalist. And, as I say, hand on heart, does India need a political leader who is so absolutely, uncomfortable, cowardly, frightened, that he or she is not able to have the courage or the character to take questions that are tough? Here we all know, Shreya, what happened in Manipur. And I'm willing to say this on your channel with full responsibility, that if that horrific video had not gone viral, I can tell you that even today, whether it's a mainstream media, whether it's the public of this country, nobody would have known, because this government of Mr. Modi would have not let the people of India know what is really going on. They used the rules of the internet shutdown to keep us all in the darkness. When women, I can tell you, if you ask me, Indian democracy was being gang raped. That unfortunate woman, we are not even talking about the horrific nightmare she's going to live with for the rest of her life. And you have India's Prime Minister who campaigned in Karnataka. He went to the United States. He went to France. He went to the UAE. He tweeted on sundry items, but not a word of sympathy, reconciliation, commiseration, nothing for the people of Manipur. And that's the reason why, Shreya, the opposition has done what we can do. We don't have the numbers to defeat the BJP in the Lok Sabha. The government will survive, but the government has been shamed. The government has been told by the opposition, because we represent the people of this country, Shreya. The BJP may have 37% of the votes, but the balanced votes are split amongst multiple parties, including the opposition. In not speaking on Manipur, I don't think the Prime Minister has just insulted the people of Manipur. He's insulted the women of this country. He's insulted, I think, the general population of India, which has a right to know what's going on in different parts of our country. I think that's the reason why I think the opposition has done what it has done. And now, on a no choice basis, Mr. Modi will have to speak. He can make an election speech, he can do what he wants, but he will have to speak on the floor of Parliament.
Varun Singh, has it been, then it becomes a battle of perceptions. The opposition very well knows and the government very well knows who's winning this trust vote. So that's not in question. It then becomes a battle of perceptions, and sometimes in politics, as I said, winning the battle of perceptions is more important than winning the actual war. But before you comment on that, I find it perplexing too. It's not just Sanjay Singh Sanjay Jha bringing this up on this show. I find it perplexing too that you have a state in India where 170 people have died, where violence has continued for 3 months, 85 days. There are 60,000 people who have become refugees in their own states. There are multiple women who've been gang raped, paraded naked, some of them killed as well. And the Prime Minister of this country hasn't spoken about it. Was the demand of the opposition for the Prime Minister to come to the floor of the House and speak on Manipur such a grave transgression? I mean, this is a legitimate ask.
Okay. Thank you, Shreya. And Shreya, I have no issues being referred as Varun Gandhi because he's a good friend. Coming to the topic over here is very simple. We have to go back like a week in the history, not more than that. Amit Shah had written a letter stating that the government is willing to discuss the issue. I'm saying it is a brilliant move by the opposition to move a no confidence motion, but a no confidence motion is moved against a government, not on an issue. Though over here they are trying to discuss many things, amidst which Manipur is the highlight. No one in this country is ever going to say anything positive about what had happened in Manipur. Everyone has condemned it in one single voice, and even the Prime Minister did it. I'm happy that no confidence motion has been moved in spite of the knowing that they do not have the numbers. But here we have to also understand that the opposition, when they had the time, so much precious time of the House was wasted in spite of the government, in spite of the Home Minister, who is responsible for law and order in this country, had categorically stated that we will have a discussion on it, but the opposition always ran away. And one more thing, and my heart goes out to every person sitting in this country who has faced even minutest of atrocity. What happened in Manipur it's unpardonable. It cannot be said, or there is no one who cannot condemn it. But over here the problem is the opposition is trying to hide everything else, including what happened in Rajasthan, including what happened in West Bengal. And women of this country, I see women of this country as women of India. No one sees them as women of Rajasthan, West Bengal, or of Manipur. And as I said again and again, I haven't seen a single person from the government or from the opposition who has not said or not condemned what happened in Manipur. Here, talking about politics, let me be very frank and let me tell you, in the next 2 days, you will see, and even today, if you see, the government has used this no confidence motion in their stride. If you see Kiran Rijiju, his entire speech of 1 hour, 10 minutes, which he spoke, he has listed out all the things that the government did in the 9 years. The way the government is using this moment, I think the opposition I'm not very sure, but they might repent in 1 or 2 days that they would have better had a discussion on Manipur when the Home Minister had asked for it. And where did the Prime Minister run away? Tell me, if the Home Minister starts speaking, if the Home Minister is saying that let's have a discussion, did it mean that the Prime Minister won't speak? Haven't we seen the Prime Minister speaking on all the issues? And he did condemn. He did condemn what happened over there. He is not the Prime Minister.
Government managers were very clear. Government managers were very clear. This is all on record. They had said the Prime Minister will not speak. Amit Shah as the Home Minister will speak and take all your questions. But the fact is that this country has not voted for Mr. Amit Shah. This country has voted for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's the man who leads us. So if there is a state that burns for 3 months, where women are being raped and paraded naked and killed, then we expect our Prime Minister to speak. And he's an articulate Prime Minister. He's a Prime Minister who has great reach on social media. Why should he not speak? What is the logic of him not speaking apart from making this an ego issue? Opposition ने बोला तो हम नहीं करेंगे. There's also no logic, na Varun?
Shreya, Prime Minister never shied away from speaking. He did give a statement, and I'm telling you honestly, if Home Minister, and also one more thing, Home Minister Amit Shah is also an elected representative. In India, we still do not have a presidential form of election.
He's not our Prime Minister.
People voted for Modi. People voted for a political
He's
party.
Not our Prime Minister.
And Amit Shah is one amongst them. BJP got 300 plus seats, and that is the reason why Prime Minister Modi is here. And obviously, I'm not denying that the Prime Minister has to speak, and I'm sure in the coming days he will. We have 2 days, he will.
Of course he will. He has to. No, of course he will have to. Now there is no choice, right? He will have to on August 10th. Sanjay Jha, then can I ask you why Rahul Gandhi was not fielded today? He was supposed to be the opening batsman today for Team India. That is what all of us were prepped for. That was what was conveyed to us from the Congress headquarters, and suddenly we see it's not him. It was Gaurav Gogoi, as was originally planned. Why is it that you think that he wasn't fielded today and will possibly be fielded on the day the Prime Minister speaks? Because I'm thinking to myself, by the time we come to day 3, everything that needs to be said will already have been said, Sanjay Jha. What can Rahul Gandhi say on the last day, that will make an impact?
Shreya, I do believe that if the Congress party is actually positioned Rahul Gandhi to speak on the day that the Prime Minister himself is going to be in Parliament, it is a master stroke, because the one person who's got under the skin of the BJP and Narendra Modi himself is Rahul Gandhi. And look at the irony of it all, that so far the Prime Minister has literally run away on the Manipur issue, while Rahul Gandhi has already been to Manipur physically to be with the people who have suffered there. I mean, that's the whole extraordinary moral difference of authority here. This is about moral authority, not just a political seat you occupy. The very important point here is that after 78 days, he spoke for 36 seconds. And you heard the gentleman who spoke a little before me. He quoted the Prime Minister all over again. What about Rajasthan? What about Chhattisgarh? Of course, he didn't mention what about Uttar Pradesh? What about Madhya Pradesh? What about other BJP-ruled states? He didn't mention that. But here is the truth. The Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Chief Justice Chandrachud had to say so, cut out the whataboutery. We are talking about Manipur. It's about weaponizing rape, using women at a time of communal strife. So I hope Prime Minister Modi takes a lesson from the Chief Justice of India. And I'll tell you something, Shreya, very honestly, it is such a disgrace to Indian democracy that when women, children, innocent people have been slaughtered in Manipur, which continues to simmer. We all know what happened with the restless protest in Delhi. We all know about the horrific incidents that have happened in Haryana. Have we become such a shambolic democracy, Shreya, that we have to be grateful that Narendra Modi has spoken? By now, I would have expected Narendra Modi to be there in Manipur 5 times. He should have spoken 10 times on press conferences. I mean, when did Amit Shah go to Manipur? Can we know the date? You have a gentleman here who's talking about Amit Shah and 303 seats. Let me tell him, that the same party that has 2 has come to 303 can go back to 2 seats. Nothing is permanent in life, by the way. And this is, I believe, the lowest point, the most abysmal point of Indian democracy, that the prime minister has to be cajoled, he has to be convinced, and then ultimately there has to be a legislative strategy which is self-defeating for the opposition to get this gentleman to speak. Is Narendra Modi doing a favor here? I'll be very honest with you. I know, Shreya, you were the prime minister. You would have spoken long time ago 100 times. And that's the truth. That Mr. Modi is not doing a favor to anybody in this country. What do you have a prime minister for? I want to know, what is Mr. Narendra Modi's job description? To just tweet on celebrity sports people and then not support them when they have a sexual harassment case against a ruling party MP? What's his JD? To be, hanging around with film stars and doing photo ops. And let's get this very clear. I actually don't know what is the prime minister's job description. If him speaking on Manipur is today becoming, literally the do or die moment between the opposition and the government, it tells you that Indian democracy today is nothing but a scam. It is a sham. It is a scam, and I can see this 100 times over.
Okay, but I saw Indian democracy at work today, actually, Sanjay Jha. For the last session of Parliament, you remember, this session, at least the beginning of it, all a complete washout. Only chillam chilli, only ladai jhagda, all drama, no debate. Today, we saw some very good debates play out. Of course, there was some drama as well, but it was good to know that our parliamentarians are not wasting the taxpayers' money as they have been doing for many, many days, and were actually doing some work. In that sense, Varun Singh, what's your big takeaway from what happened in Parliament today? Who do you think was the star speaker?
There were multiple star speakers. If I have to give, starting with Nishikant, Kiran Rijiju, Gaurav Gogoi, all made good points. And we always have some people who do the disruption, so I wouldn't count the others who did it. But obviously, if you have to ask me, these three were there. And the gentleman who just spoke 2 minutes before me, or a few seconds before me, forgot to mention a few things. I don't understand, Shreya, as a woman, do you see yourself different from a woman in rural Rajasthan? Do you see yourself different from a woman who belongs to a community in Manipur? As a woman, this is,
No,
this
Varun,
is a question to
but
Mr.
as a woman with a brain, as a woman with a brain,
Yes.
I know when I see what about tree. And that's what I'm seeing you do. That's what I saw the Prime Minister do. And that's what I saw the BJP do as well.
See, I'm not denying that the BJP has shied away or anyone has shied away from speaking on the Manipur issue in the parliament. The BJP clearly said we are ready to discuss. The opposition didn't agree with it, create the halabulu in this parliament, they ran away. Now, as I said, my starting statement was, it is a good thing that the opposition moved no confidence.
No, but I don't understand this. It's interesting. It's Varun, एक बात समझाना मुझे. Just a minute. Since you have said this twice already, just help me understand how this was the opposition running away from a debate. If the opposition was running away from a debate, they wouldn't have called for this no trust vote, right? What is the reason for them to? It defies logic, na? When you say that the opposition is running away from a debate, this is a debate for which they've called a no trust vote, and you're saying they were running away.
Shreya, you said politics is all about perception. When the government said let's debate, the opposition said no. But now, when the opposition is saying let's debate, the government agreed. Okay, on your terms, fine. You want to debate on a particular issue via no confidence motion? Okay, we have no choice, na? That is what a mature democracy or a mature political party will do. When Home Minister said here we are sitting, let's debate. That is fine. But at least on their terms, at least on the terms of the opposition, when the government said, let's debate, Home Minister said, let's debate, let's discuss Manipur, the opposition ran away. They didn't let the House run. They sloganeered, they ran away from there. But when the opposition said, okay, we are using the tool called no confidence motion, the government said, okay, on your terms, let the country know. And let me tell you honestly, in the next 2 days, as someone who covers politics and as a student of politics, I'm telling you, in the next 2 days, you will see to it. I am very sure that many in the opposition will repent bringing this no confidence motion. They should have allowed a discussion and debate on Manipur when the government agreed.
Well, Sanjay, this is not just something that people who support the BJP are saying. Even the BJD that seems to be backing the government on this one has said as much on the floor of the House.
Shreya, I don't want to comment on Naveen Patnaik's party. It runs that state, and it is very opportunistic. It will side with whichever party is in power. So I don't want to comment on the BJD. The larger point, this is what I call as moments when you hang your head in shame. We are talking about Manipur getting expression in the Hall of Parliament. And you have the gentleman here who's trying to rationalize the BJP saying, it will work against the opposition. He's not worried about the morality of the debate. He's not worried about the humiliation of the women in Manipur. He's just telling the opposition that, Modi will come and lambast Rahul Gandhi. He will talk Parivarvad. He will talk about, Bhrashtachar. And he will make this into a 2024 election speech, and the opposition will regret it. But let me tell you, there are times you actually win when you lose, ladies and gentlemen. And I think the bigger point, Shreya, end of day, comparing a crime in Maharashtra, BJP ruled or a Congress ruled state, which is an act of crime, an act of some social crime, against one which was laced with communal hatred in Manipur, just tells you how intellectually defunct not just the BJP has become, but even the people who actually cheered for the party. There's a difference between the crimes, even if the target is women, and even if it is equally horrific in nature. And I think the larger point that the Supreme Court made, and I'm quoting the Supreme Court, so that people who watch your program don't say that Sanjay Jha has come here to make a partisan comment in favor of the opposition. 6,000 FIRs, and you have a government that didn't have a clue. Find out how many arrests they did. And the Supreme Court has to now put a committee of people because there's no confidence as far as the running of the state is concerned. And yet the chief minister continues, Shreya. I mean, to what levels do we have to stoop under this government for justice? I think this is a cry for justice for every citizen of this country. I think today is a moment when anybody watching your program, even if they are diehard supporters of Modi and the BJP, I hope their conscience makes them move to understand that there are times you draw the line in the sand and say, listen, we got to fight for what is right and true. That's all.
We leave it there. Good to have both of you gentlemen on the show. Thank you very much. Sanjay Jha joining us on the broadcast. Varun Singh, thank you very much for your time as well. On that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There is much more coming up on the show from across the country. Do stay with us.